Hello there, Warner Brothers developer. I am here to give you my pitch for a new action game set in the Arkhamverse, Deathstroke. Now, this pitch will only talk about the gameplay, as that is the main meat of this game. So without any further ado, let's get into this pitch. For starters, I think we should talk about what games you like and what games the fans like. So in terms of the fans, it's easily deductible that they like the Arkham series. Why would this be, you might be asking? Could it be the story, the graphics, the details, and many other things? Maybe. And while I do think those factors are important, the main thing is the combat. The free flow, the speed, the gadgets, and all of that give it personality to a degree like no other. So if we were to make a Deathstroke game, we would definitely need hand-to-hand Arkham style combat. But here's the thing. You, from the last two DC games, I can tell, don't like that style of combat. You prefer more slower combat, with more powerful abilities that charge up over time, and a looter shooter that allows you to fly around and take your enemies away in style, with raunchy humor and a ton of enemies. And all power to you, by the way. Me personally, I really like looter shooters, and they are insanely fun to play. But it's really easy to tell that people don't like these forms of play from player counts and from game sales. Which then begs the question, what the f is the middle ground? That's where I and this game come in. I know what the fans like and I also know what you like. So why don't we combine them and create a game for everyone? And that's also why I picked the Deathstroke for a game of this caliber. Deathstroke is a highly trained in all forms of combat. He is an expert hand-to-hand duelist, a master at sword and staff combat, and an assassin capable more than most with a weapon in his hand. Let's start off with what you like. Weapon combat in this game should be similar to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League with a few minor adjustments. 1. You should be able to pick any weapon in this game for a mission. For example, if a player wants to use a sniper, shotgun and pistol for a mission, they should be able to. Unlike in Suicide Squad where you have the 4 pre-selected character skills and weapons. And if they wanna change it for another mission, let's say to AR, SMG and minigun, likewise they should be able to. And 2. Remove the melee from it, because while it is very useful in Suicide Squad, because you can't use melee in that game, in this game you are able to use weapons in 3 different modes: swords, staff, and double swords. All of these have a unique play and fighting style. Before each mission you choose the weapons you can have. The sword is great at single target, dealing great damage to a single target at a time. And also has a takedown that instantly finishes an enemy. The staff does less damage, although to multiple people at the same time, being insanely fun to play against large groups of enemies at the same time. The double swords are a mix of the two, dealing an intermediate amount of damage to a few targets at a time. A perfectly balanced option for when you need to damage both large groups and single targets at the same time. Additional things each weapon can do is that while having a sword, you can dash and jump attack. When having a staff, you can swing it around, doing damage to everyone around you, and your takedown does damage to a lot of different people at the same time. And when having the swords, you can block and parry attacks. You move the fastest while having them out, and the takedown does half the HP of 2 different enemies. And also with the staff, you can do an air combo, similar to Spider-Man, PS4, and you are able to do a beatdown like the Arkham games. Now, all of this weapon stuff is good, but nothing beats the old reliable fists. Hand-to-hand combat is similar to Arkham Asylum, still really good, but not OP, which is why guns and melee weapons are in this game. Now let's get into traversal, which there won't be any at all. That's right, this game is a linear experience, similar to Hitman, but with a lot less stealth. Before every mission you choose 3 guns, a melee weapon, and in the mission you are able to use them, and you're able to swap from your weapon to your melee weapon to your fist in a second, and are allowed to beat the enemies in whichever way you want. Of course, there will be certain missions where you are forced into a certain playstyle, but for the most part, you are able to choose whatever you want and in the missions you want. You will be able to hunt down different street level DC characters in the Arkhamverse. That's right, not just the Bat family. I'm thinking Green Arrow, Black Canary, and many others, but that doesn't really matter right now. What does is you have a myriad of different heroes and villains to hunt down in their missions, with some maybe requiring multiple missions to defeat them fully. Look, in my opinion, I think this is an easy sale to most people. Deathstroke's combat seems fun, there will be stealth sections kinda like the Arkham games but with guns, and everything except maybe the fact that it's a linear game cause it might turn off some people. But we can also add an open world to it which you can find random crimes, similar to Gotham Knights. So, what do you say? Do you want this game? Understandable. Have a great rest of your day. Terrible bits aside, that's it for this video. For the next one, I'll probably release a video on Arkham Knight. I don't know what it'll be about, but I have a few ideas. And as always, final thing before you leave, drink water, eat an apple, talk to your family, subscribe and follow my Instagram, Anton02023, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.